Let's bring back in our panel, Niger Innis, Executive Director of the TeaParty.net, and Rick Ungar, co-host of Steele and Ungar on Sirius XM POTUS Channel 124. Rick, would it be unfair to attribute this kind of attitude mostly being prevalent on the left?
Well, I mean, look, let me start by saying, Niger, next time you're in New York, you owe me lunch, because I'm going to do it for you again in this segment. I don't know what this writer is talking about. First of all, I don't believe that people worship soldiers. We admire soldiers, we respect soldiers, and I think they deserve every single bit of it. In terms of police, I don't know where she's been, because if you look at the headlines over the past 6 months, you'll find that a huge number of them have involved just the opposite of criticizing and going after police forces and how they're behaving. So I think the article is just way off. I'll throw this in too. You know, what she ought to be writing about is this phenomenon of people of my generation who behaved pretty badly towards our veterans when they came back from Vietnam. We were kids, we blamed them for the war that we disliked. We still dislike the war, but we all came to understand that we were pretty darn stupid in taking it out on the veterans, and a lot of us are trying to make up for it now by doing everything we can to respect and help veterans. So as far as I'm concerned, this writer's coming from Mars.
Well, Nigel, what do you think about Rick's previous statement there that a lot of folks, baby boomers, were not particularly kind to Vietnam-era veterans, but now maybe trying to make up for that by being overly active towards our current generation of veterans?
Well, yeah, I mean, I want to return the favor to Rick and be kind to him and to his ideological ilk. Liberals, I think, have learned a great deal from the bad old days of the late 60s, 70s, 80s, where they would call returning vets baby killers and spit on them and that type of thing. They've become a lot more embracing of the sacrifices made by hundreds of thousands of Americans, going back to the Revolutionary War. And what I found particularly offensive about that statement made, not by Rick's statement, but by the offensive person who made that statement, was the fact that you talked about white men. The fact is minorities are overrepresented: Latinos, African Americans,
right.
Native Americans, Alaskans. If you look at a chart of those who are enlisted men, they are overrepresented vis-a-vis their percentage of the population. So the military, which traditionally, since its inception, the military has always been the way that working class, lower economic classes, find a way to, get an education, get a discipline, get a job skill, and serve their country and come out stronger for it. So I find what they say reprehensible, and for that to be posted on Veterans Day is of the utmost offense.
All right, let's talk. Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
I will say this. I think what the writer was trying to say is that we prefer white soldiers in terms of idolizing them, for setting them up for worship.
You mean like
I think,
Colin Powell?
The right. Well, exactly. That's precisely the point I was going to make. I think the writer has it wrong, profoundly wrong. I think most Americans, you're always going to find pockets anywhere that are going to have a bizarre point of view. Most Americans do respect, no matter what your background is, anybody who's willing to go over and take a bullet for their country. And let me tell you, whether you're a black soldier, a Latin soldier, a white soldier, dead is dead when you get shot. So, I mean, so much about this article was profoundly wrong that I just don't even understand why anybody would give it any credibility.
And it's such a nasty tone, and I think Rick would agree with me on this, and when you have both political parties that have a real, what I would say, a healthy discussion about, the role of American power. When do you send troops into harm's way? When do you use the greatest military on the face of the earth in the history of mankind?
I hate to do this, but we've got to wrap it up there. We're out of time.
Okay.
Niger Innis, Rick Ungar, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, America's Forum continues right after this.